All right, it is 10:15 on the 17th of November. I will call our regular meeting of the Dolores County Board of County Commissioners to order. If everyone can join me in pledging allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And our agenda, we have two agenda items for the Board of Commissioners, and then we will move out of that at time into the bill. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda that you see?
I don't have anything to add.
I don't either.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda for November 17th, 2025 as submitted with no changes.
And I'll second that motion.
Motion from Commissioner Allen to approve the agenda as submitted on November 17th, 2025 with no changes. And second, all in favor? Agenda?
Yes.
Yes, as well. Changes. And reviewing for vouchers and expenditures. Any questions, anything you have right now?
No.
I don't have any questions. A motion to approve expenditures.
Expenditures.
A motion from Commissioner Allen to approve expenditures.
I'll second the motion.
Second, all in favor of approving expenditures? Yes.
Yes.
Expenditures are approved, and we do not have any minutes for approval today. Really limit our public comment to 5 minutes per speaker. And we'll step into our first agenda item with Mr. Lestro. It's good to see you, Nick.
Hey, good to be with you. Apologize for not being there in person, but appreciate everybody's time this morning. Do have just a couple updates to share of things we've been working on and some questions for the commission. Starting out with, we've been busy repairing dozer line on the Stoner Mesa fire. All closures related to that fire have been lifted. We're done with all dozer line repairing on Taylor Mesa, so that's in good shape. We did make some progress over on Stoner Mesa, but likely need to get up there next year to keep working on that. We do have a meeting planned with West Fork Volunteer Fire Department tomorrow, doing an after-action review. Just wanted to chat with the fire department and the community of like what went well in that incident and what could we do better. If there's interest in Town of Rico, I'd love to do a meeting there, kind of the same thing of just kind of reaching out to the community, getting feedback of our process and our communication of what went well and what could we do better next time. So certainly a focus for me. In terms of planning that we've been working on, we have had a NEPA process going for a project to allow us to put in for our prescribed fires, ahead of our prescribed fires, a dozer line kind of on our side of the fence, adjacent to private lands and kind of where we might have concern next to canyon edges, that sort of thing, just because as an added layer of making sure that we keep fire where it can be beneficial. And so we're looking to sign a decision to that probably early December. But certainly always game to take feedback on any thoughts the commission might have on that. And if I'm going too fast, let me know. Sorry, I'm still adjusting to the virtual method. Also wanted to make you all aware that we're seeing some campsite proliferation and degradation over by Navajo Lake in the Lizard Head Wilderness. And we're looking at this winter, trying to solicit some public feedback to go to a designated dispersed camping spots. So those would not be by reservation. They'd be first come, first served. It would just specify, here's where you can camp, here's where you cannot camp. But certainly we want public feedback on that proposal before we'd move forward on anything like that. So looking forward to soliciting that feedback this winter, possibly implementing next summer. And then also want to chat about Cottonwood Road. So at a request from the last commission, last winter, we closed Cottonwood Road to try to limit the amount of search and rescue requests the county was getting, trying to be a good neighbor on that. So we do have a decision in place that we can close that this winter, but I'd like to chat with you all on if that's something you're interested in us pursuing this winter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but our stance is communicating with our emergency manager, emergency service personnel and road and bridge as well. Really get their input on making that determination to close the road. But no, it is a major concern pulling people out.
Copy. We'll plan on doing the same this winter then. And then just awareness on that road. We did receive $1 million to put towards road improvements on that. The plan is to kind of do that next summer. That might mean a week or so of closure of that road to facilitate the improvements of an improved bridge, some widening and turnouts, kind of making it a more viable road for log trucks and increased traffic on that. So I'm excited about that. It's nice to have funding to take care of our roads and improve some bridges. So awareness that might be coming for us next summer. And then, yeah, that's the extent of my updates, but happy to take any questions you may have.
As a recreationist, I like hearing about the Plymouth Navajo Lake because last time I was up there, it was extremely busy.
I think it's a tricky spot because I've been up there, there's like maybe a couple groups, but it really is so variable weekend by weekend. And what we see in our use patterns, which we've been tracking the last couple of years, is that, nice summer weekends where folks can try to do El Dente and Wilson. It gets a lot of traffic camping up there that push early morning to go for those peaks. And it's just a higher number than that kind of riparian, really important watershed piece can kind of sustain. So appreciate it.
Then with your dozer line for your prescribed burns, is there any opportunity to work with private property owners that are adjacent to, just for ease of putting that line in?
There are some things we can do. It's hard to spend the funding that we have on private land. The state's kind of the right entity for that, but we can do what are called widen agreements. So we can work with the landowner if they're game to have prescribed fire in their property. We can manage the fire across that boundary if we can get an agreement in place. So there are options and opportunities. I would say I think the other upside of this too is that there are situations where we'll put the line in, but we might not necessarily get the window that summer. So it's nice though, from my perspective, is that whether fire were to start in private or start in forest, we have a line already in place when fire season comes. So we're kind of just that much farther ahead of the game if we were to see a fire start in that particular area.
Well, I think that is a great idea. I know just having some additional line as we get into summer and some of the extreme risk weather behavior, additional line, it's never a bad thing. Pros.
Agreed.
That'll be good.
Thanks, Nick. Can you guys think of anybody else that would be good for the after action review outside of West Fork and Rico? For the stone this fire.
No.
Have you talked with Keith, Nick?
Keith and I have talked a lot, mainly about the search and rescue cabin lately. But no, I can add him to my list to chat specifically on Stoner Mesa and see what his feedback is.
Okay, I'm just trying to think of any other stakeholders might be good for that after action, but West Fork and Rico probably primarily. Okay. Thanks, Nick. Moving into 10:30. See Mr. Schiff on County Road Nora. Can you hear us, Matt?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me good?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for having us here this morning. I'm Matt and Christina is with me as well. We're here to talk about Road N as it goes through our property near Rico. I've got a few slides to share if I'm able to screen share here.
Hang on just a second. Oh. Okay, you should be able to.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, just so that we're talking about the same thing. Basically, yeah, here's Rico. Here's Road N, and then our property here is this mining claim. And then just a little bit more of a close up here to give everyone a sense of, yeah, the area that we're talking about. Our main objective is just to discuss a path forward towards making a fully legal road through our property. Before we go any further, though, I think it's been a while since we've brought up or talked about this at all, and so I just want to hear the county's position as of today on this road, and potentially ask some follow-up questions.
Sounds like where we're at right now, talking with Chauncey up in Rico, it sounds like they're working with the mining reclamation company and obtaining the history of the road. And getting everything surveyed out with it.
Okay, now when you said that, does that pertain to just the portion that's within the town?
No, I believe that's the entirety of road in.
Okay, so at this point, then, I guess are you making a claim or a position regarding Road N, or are you saying that you are looking at the information that's coming in and potentially, I guess, adjusting your position or how you see it?
Yeah, I'd like to see the history of the road from the company, and then also what Rico finds through the survey.
Okay, and I guess how much longer, I'll stop screen sharing here, but I guess how much longer, are you expecting for them to be able to do their work and get that information back to you?
I don't have an estimated time to complete it and get a report. I can touch base with Chauncey and get an update on that.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. Yeah. I mean, I think, any further information that we'd present would probably be getting ahead of ourselves if you're not, stating a position here on this road quite yet. I had asked if Nick could join just because he's got the Forest Service perspective, and I'll share again. Let's see. Yeah, and so for example, this segment right here, this would be Forest Service. So certainly any agreements that occurred with the Forest Service does have the possibility to affect us. So yeah, I guess I don't know if it's worth Nick just kind of maybe chiming in on the Forest Service perspective on this road.
Yeah, I can just answer generally. Obviously the Forest Service isn't taking a position on really anything between a private individual and the county. But I will say just the road doesn't show up on our INVUM, and Rico is a complicated place for roads in general and road history. So we're not really taking a position on it other than just we don't have any formalized agreements with the county for pieces passing through Forest Service. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is I always like to leave the future county commissioners and the future district rangers with more, kind of formalized agreements and paperwork and paper trail to kind of make sure that we're all in agreement on it when it comes to individual roads.
But maybe the Forest Service needs to participate in the discussions with Rico and the county at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. That information from beginning, especially from Rico with the survey, would be extremely valuable for you as well, Nick. So I'll make sure and either share that with you or include you in that our discussions with Chauncey and Rico.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks. Yeah, and feel free to include us in everything. Like our position is definitely not one of trying to shut anything down or prevent people from accessing both the other mining claims that are up the road and the national forest that people have access to. But we have looked at it and felt that to make it fully legal, some more things need to be done, and we're certainly willing to negotiate and talk about what makes the most sense. I think there's a lot of things in the Rico area that were just done, and then as the area grows, things get noticed. And I know the town has gone through a couple roads that people were using to get to subdivisions and went through the proper process to acquire those right of ways or outright purchase it or do whatever they needed to kind of fix problems that began in the past. So yeah, I hope that's the way we can move forward with this and just keep us posted as well. We definitely like to use this property, to be able to build a home on, and I think we're just trying to have complete clarity on what we can do and where we can do it. It sounds like if we were to say build today, it might be a little bit of the gray zone. So we'll just keep checking in with you and trying to keep the ball moving on working through this road and getting everything squared away with it.
Okay, perfect. And I'll reach out to Chauncey this week and let you know what the timeline looks like as best as possible for people.
Are you including any other landowners in this at the moment, or is it mainly the town and Arcos? Did you say Arco?
Mainly the town right now, and now the Forest Service.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sounds like at the moment you're trying to, through Arco and with the town, kind of help piece together more of the information before moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think then, for today we don't have anything further, and we're excited just to try to move things forward and reach out to us or add us into the conversation whenever you can.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day. See ya.
See you next. How's the 88? Anything coming up with it? Special requests that's being passed through you?
No, not that I know.
Did you have anything else, Steve?
I'm working with Lisa. She has some stuff we gotta do with the website, but I don't think it's anything that's gonna.
Working with them?
Elisa, from the senior center, she sent over some stuff that needed to be done.
Just standard uploading.
Yeah, I think so.
website.
Yeah, stuff for her grants, or there was something she had, and she talked about it that day, but.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. And then for policies, still have one sitting in the queue that need to work a little bit, and well, I don't, yeah, it's a little better. Anything else for our board and commissioner meeting? We have next week, we're gonna have a meeting the 24th. It'll be our end of month, and then also a meeting because we have some business to go through that day. The rest of this week, there is just I don't butcher the app. The Colorado Energy Office and the Colorado Energy and Carbon Management Commission is attending an informational session up in Rico on Thursday from 8:30 to 11. Be going up to that. I don't know if we've heard about that, Linda. I think they're going to start in Telluride, or maybe start in Rico and then go to Telluride that afternoon to talk about it. But okay, I'll forward you the email.
Okay.
With it. But yeah, have a town hall and a short PowerPoint presentation.
And had a attorney's conference on Friday. I think the thing that jumped out at me was the presentation regarding the well end fire stuff coming out and how we're supposed to be enforcing this starting July next year.
It was March of 26.
Supposed to adopt by then and then
Okay.
start enforcing by July.
Okay.
And so there is the option under the statute, just as a reminder, there's the option to adopt. Just adopt the state rules and say we don't have the resources to enforce it. I think that becomes, I mean, it becomes a little dangerous because. They might actually enforce it.
Of course, insurance companies might say this isn't good enough for our purposes and.
Yeah, there's just a lot of option boxes though in the regulations that. Well, there's a lot of really gray area. I think what the presenter was talking about, one of the things being. You know, there's this rule in there that if you replace 25% of your siding that is not fire protected, then you actually have to replace all of it. And then what the presenter said is it's unclear if that's cumulative, because if it's cumulative, how in the world could you ever determine whether over the course of 10 years they replaced more than 25% of their siding in 20 years or however long it's going to be? Or if it's just a one-time shot, even that, I'm not sure. I mean, you'd almost have to have a requirement that they pull a permit to replace any siding on the exterior of their building. And I'm sorry, but who in the right mind is gonna go and pull a permit to replace a couple of planks of siding on the house when they go to.
Have some water damage, go to replace them, need a permit for it.
Well, and you know, people that flat, if they do not have the money. So if they don't have the money to do that, then is an insurance company gonna
No,
dump them?
no. Oh, well, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the
people,
big
people
stick.
flat don't have the funds to, there's people that don't have the funds to. I couldn't
I mean,
decide on the house.
I've got a wood siding house and, you know, and a big garage that goes with it, and I'm thinking to myself, kidding me?
Well, and outbuildings, what is it gonna look like with outbuildings where
Yeah.
they gonna fit into it? You know, with your NFPA assessments, traditionally it was the primary structure. But it's moved on to assessing the adjacent structures the same as the primary structures.
Well, I glanced at the map the other day, and not to make this about me, I mean, but, I glanced at the map the other day and. I mean, I'm in a subdivision of 9-acre lots. And, my lot falls in it and my neighbor's lot falls out of the map, but I'm looking around going. It's the exact same topography, the exact same trees, everything, and I don't get it. I don't get how they did those maps. There's little pockets all over the place.
Yeah,
How can you have a pocket of
it's safe from wildfire. It's yeah.
right in the middle of something that's not? It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. So I think this is gonna be an absolute nightmare. I think most of the counties are looking at it, shaking their head going, you gotta be kidding me. Now San Juan County, they were pretty proactive on it, but they've got an active planning department, they've got an active planner. They've got a very active permitting for everything. You can't build a fence or you can't put a sign up. So they're already ready for it, for the most part. But a county like this, man,
Sawatch, another one, somewhere else, they don't have building codes. There are several counties that are in the city.
Montezuma, they'll go with those. So,
California, because with all the fires going, little church don't have it on the water.
I don't know what they're
Worst
doing.
fire there.
I don't know.
I feel like this one's maybe the worst one, or it's gonna be the most impactful for this part of them from the
Oh, no, never mind.
Well, and I mean, it just makes me wonder if you go to sell your house. Are you gonna have to have some disclosure that you're not fire compliant, or, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the realtors are gonna get in the middle of it, sure.
Mhm.
So I think it's gonna be very impactful and sort of makes me wanna move away, but alone.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole state, can you imagine how many hundreds of millions of dollars this is gonna cost the state?
Yeah. Um, Well, the state, it's not gonna cost the state anything.
Oh,
They're not
I
gonna pay
mean,
for anything.
yeah.
I wanna say Lafado was living. Is it 3 or 5 full-time employees to fit with the code? Just to keep up with them.
And they don't have enough employees now to keep up with the building inspection process,
No,
so I don't know where they're gonna get those folks.
but, they can.
So. And they haven't even started poking around people's houses yet, and that's inventory. How many people are gonna welcome the county to come in and assess their house for fire again? I mean, that's gonna be ugly in itself.
Cause if it's a bad report, that's gonna be. A large cost to the property owners to get it fixed, or they're. Just losing insurance. And it's bad.
And, you know, the one thing too, if there's some state money, if there's some homeowner grant money to update your house or, you know, something like that, or take care of wildfire, you know, mitigation around the house. But I just don't see any money coming.
Yeah, I mean, if they would fund it and say, here's a resource available to fireproof your home. And then keep it more open-ended on that, I think a lot more people will be on board with it. And you probably make more headway with your mitigation efforts. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the biggest conversation was that. We put San Juan County put that 5.25 cap removal on the ballot. You guys remember the 5.25
Yeah.
property tax increase that you could opt out of, but you had to go through the ballot and it failed. So.
You're talking Silverton, right? San County? Yeah. Like they can afford all that.
Therefore, what?
You said they have a staff that does. The building codes and,
Fair amount of money up there
is it?
because of tourism. You gotta remember, there's in the summer, what is it, 3 trains coming in there every day?
Yeah, you're right.
And it's a joint. Here's another interesting thing. This is something to think about. And I'm not saying it could work here, but it's something to think about. They have a joint planning department with the town of Silverton and the county. And they have a joint planner that everyone pays chips in for. The fire authority is a joint authority between the town and the county. Those are all shared costs. They had a shared housing, department. Where they do affordable housing, and that's all together. So they make it work.
Without that municipality, the county's nothing, and vice versa. I mean, they have to work together. Right,
Yeah, I mean, the county probably could do it alone, but they wouldn't have a planner and they wouldn't have all that other stuff that they need. But, you know, it just goes to show you, I don't
it's a
think,
good model for best practice
I'm just
between these.
pointing out, I mean, we're right here in Dove Creek. To have a joint planner wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, and maybe as the belt tightens. Budget wise, maybe that's something to explore.
The and Rico, and the 2 municipalities in the county.
I don't see why it certainly can work. I mean, if we could do a regional planning, countywide planning department. Everybody chips in to hire a full-time planner, and everybody puts a member on the planning commission, and you know. And then the planning commission makes a recommendation to whatever entity ultimately makes the decision. So it's not like they take the decision away from you, but from the point of application. The planning department, the planning commission, that's all joint, and then it gets kicked to the whatever entity is making the final decision, whether it's in the county or whatever. But
It's a good idea.
You know, when Ashton was here, and that's what he wanted to be, to work with the town and the county like a combined. The town totally kiboshed it, was not interested, and they each pay a salary. Ashton Harris.
yeah,
And that's what then Rico got lucky and got him. But that's what he wanted to do, a combined, and the town sending them totally went off almost about it. It'd been a good deal for both of them.
yeah, and they do affordable housing up there where it's a combined effort. They transfer property back and forth. Whoever could utilize it better, and they annex some of the property into the towns for affordable housing. It works out well. I mean, it works out well. I have to say, very well organized.
Joint initiatives for funding,
Oh yeah, there's always, yeah,
stronger applications for that.
I'm working on a trail, there's the recreational trail group up there, nonprofit that. Counties help them put in for some grants, pass through grants, and it's just a lot of stuff that, you know. I'd like to see a little bit more cooperation. I'd like to have Aaron be 6 foot tall too.
And as a side note.
On that note, I'll make a motion that we adjourn our Coast County Board of Commissioners meeting until 11:15, when we will step back in and open the floor. Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes as well. And we'll see you all at 11:15.
Margaret, what do you, this might be, I think we maybe should call Amber about and get a hold of Terry Bone Farms it.
Okay, on the Robert Hancock.
Yeah.